Please subscribe to Unusual Facts and hit the notification button.
Do you remember the last time you heard of a plane crash? Well, I won't be surprised if you don't remember, though one cannot deny the fact that news of any tragic accident leaves a deep imprint on our minds, but we often tend to forget such incidents. But what about a tragic air accident in which a celebrity dies? Well, most of us might be able to recall the year of an accident, even if we don't remember the exact date. The reason is that it's not just an incident anymore, rather an event in history. Here are the top 10 celebrities who died in a plane crash. The number one celebrity on this list of famous people is musician Aaliyah, August 25, 2001, a date that has found a permanent place in a list of most famous tragic air accidents, as it famously led to the death of one of the most popular singers. It led to the tragic death of Aaliyah and 8 other people who were returning after a music video shoot in Bahamas for the singer Rock the Boat. Never did they know that this would be their last flight. The aircraft crashed shortly after its takeoff. The cause of the incident was attributed to the recklessness of the pilot on board, whose toxicology report confirmed the apprehensions of the pilot being responsible for the air crash. The next celebrity on my list is John F. Kennedy. The evening of July 16, 1999 will always be remembered by every American, for it was no ordinary evening. Never did anyone expect that the family of the former president of America, John F. Kennedy, would meet such a fate. John F. Kennedy Jr. and his family died when the light aircraft he was flying crashed into the Atlantic. He was flying a single-engine Piper Saratoga that took off from New Jersey towards Martha's Vineyard Airport. The cause of the accident was attributed to the spatial disorientation due to his inability to handle low visibility conditions. The next celebrity in this list was one of the most talented cricketers of his times, Hansie Cronje. On what will become the last afternoon of his life, Hansie Cronje was returning late from a business meeting in Swaziland when he became caught up in traffic in the eastern suburbs of Johannesburg. The popular former captain of South Africa was the only passenger on the flight. Many suspect a conspiracy behind his death, as he was infamously involved in a match-fixing inquiry. The timing of the air accident raised many eyebrows, as he was part of the ongoing investigations that were being conducted by the King's Commission to examine his alleged actions into the match-fixing scandal. The involvement of the bookies, who were suspected of their names being revealed, could be a possible reason for his death. But the court of inquiry investigating his death concluded the reason of his death was due to the pilots losing control of the flight, partially due to the unusable navigation equipment in the flight, as they found no evidence that could validate the conspiracy claims being made. The next on this list is one of the most controversial celebrities, who is none other than the former Secretary of the United Nations, Dag Hammarskjöld, whose flight crashed under mysterious circumstances while he was on his way to a peacekeeping mission in Congo. Though inquiries by the authorities in Africa indicated the crash had been the result of pilot error, rumors of foul play surfaced immediately, and they have not stopped swirling since. Today, his death remains the biggest enigma in the organization's eventful history. In 2017, the UN commissioned a new investigation of the crash, and the big question of the reason behind his death is still being searched for the right answers. The next on my list is the air accident that led to the death of retired NBA player Koby Bryant in early 2020. He was accompanied by his daughter and 6 others in that ill-fated flight that raised questions on the safety as well as reliability of private choppers. Investigators are exploring several possible causes of the crash, including mechanical failure, and questions remain about what went wrong for an experienced pilot. The experienced pilot flew high-profile clients, and the luxury helicopter had a reputation of a safer aircraft. That reiterates the reason of the crash to low visibility conditions, though it's still under investigation. It may take months for federal investigators to determine what caused an aircraft carrying 9 people to plummet into a South California hillside. The next celebrity on our list was a passenger in the flight from Bombay to New York. It was the ill-fated Boeing 707 named Kanchenjunga on January 24, 1966, that crashed into Mount Blanc in the Alps and made the news all that day. But why? The reason was that one of the passengers in the flight was the father of India's nuclear program, Homi Bhabha. One of the most controversial theories behind the crash was that it was a result of a conspiracy to kill the famous nuclear scientist, as he was the harbinger of a nuclear revolution in the newly independent country of India and could be a crucial factor in rapidly transforming the country into a nuclear power. This crash was also part of a controversy, though the official reason given was the miscommunication between the aircraft and Geneva Airport. Another fatal celebrity air crash accident was of former golfer and U.S. Open champion Payne Stewart. The plane that Payne Stewart boarded took off from Orlando on October 25, 1999. The aircraft controller lost contact with the pilot and were then called to be surprised when the plane continued to climb past 39,000 feet. Realizing the gravity of the situation, a U.S. Air Force F-16 was sent to track the craft. The pilot of the F-16 reported that the windows of the airplane seemed to be frozen. That led to the NTSB concluding the plane had suffered from a pressurization problem. Soon it was declared a ghost plane, and it was suspected that all the passengers in the plane had died due to hypoxia. The rest is history. Revered by Central Africans as a national martyr, the next celebrity in my list is Barthélemy Boganda, the first Prime Minister of the Central African Republic. Considered as a driving force behind the creation of the Republic, he died in a mysterious plane crash just before the country's independence, raising questions on the timing of the plane crash. Rumors were that sabotage caused the crash. Despite speculations about a possible conspiracy, no investigation took place. The traces of explosives found in the plane wreckage raised further questions about his death. Many suspected that the experienced businessman from Bangor's Chamber of Commerce may have had a hand in his death. The next celebrity in my list of celebrities that died in a plane crash is former Vice President of Sudan, John Garang, a former rebel who was a key figure in signing of a peace deal that ended a 21-year civil war. Garang was flying in President Yoweri Museveni's Russian-built Mi-72 copter. The cause of the crash was attributed to poor visibility. The timing of the crash, though, raised some questions and was seen as a great blow to bring peace to the region. And the memories of Rwandan genocide were revived through something that never happened in Sudan. The final celebrity in my list of plane crash victims is Samora Machel. One of the great faces of Africa, Samora Machel was the first president of Mozambique Republic. The crash came as a shock to the newly independent country. They suspected a conspiracy behind the death of this popular leader. Several investigations were initiated pointing to different theories. Lastly in the series of the investigations is the one initiated by the present Mozambique government. Undoubtedly, this plane crash is one of the most controversial air accidents in the history of Africa. So, what is common about all the incidents, including these famous personalities that were victims of air accidents? Well, they were some of the most influential people of their times. This is an irony behind these famous air crashes. What they suggest is that though air travel is considered one of the safest means of transport, in the event a plane crash occurs, it is always tragic no matter how many lives are lost.
Thank you for watching our video, and please subscribe to Unusual Facts and hit the notification button so you can never miss any video from us.